Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. I am the Gerbil. What do these three characters right over here have in common? Besides green lightsabers, wearing brown, being Jedi, and pixels on the screen, and having the same character model. I think that they're likely to be among the MVPs of the new Naboo raid. So we just got a lot of information from Capital Games about the new Naboo raid, which could be starting honestly anytime in the next, I think, 3 weeks to a month. I really don't expect to see it until July, but it could hit really, really soon. And just like the Ewoks, especially Ewok Elder, Chief Chirpa, and Hera, and I can't remember who the other one is. I mean, Hera's a Phoenix, right? But just like they were really the MVPs of the Endor raid, I think these leftover B-tier Jedi are going to be among the MVPs of this one, and I'll explain why. Anyway, so before I'm actually going to run down what Capital Games posted. I'm going to break it down with some cutesy-wootsy graphics. But if you want to skip all of that, you can download this graphic, this infographic from my Discord, link in the description. I've taken everything they posted so far, and I have reformatted it and condensed some of the shenanigans and bad grammar out of it. I tried to be as true or as truthful to the original intent as possible. There's one grammatical spelling error that I left in there because I don't exactly know what it means, and I don't want to make an assumption. But otherwise, it's a bit more visual and it may be a bit easier to understand for a lot of folks. So please go check that out. I will update that and continue to provide new versions as time goes by. Anyway, let's move into the official announcement though. So we are excited to bring, you know what, I'm not going to read this whole thing line for line. You can watch other people do that. What I want to do is I want to point out the really interesting tidbits and explain what I think that means for you. So we're going to start by scrolling down a little bit. And here we go. Under the summary, it says in blue, you and your guild must engage the enemy both on land and in space. Now, a lot of people are taking this as meaning that there's likely going to be a ship component. I don't think that's going to be the case. Initially, I got excited. I talked to a few of my guildmates, and then a buddy of mine, Vox from the HNN podcast, was like, you know what? I don't think it's going to be ships at all. I think it's just a reference to backgrounds, that some of the battles will be fought in a space background, like on a Separatist droid ship or something, and then the other battles will be on the Naboo planet. I think that's very likely, and that's very easy for Capital Games to do that, and it generates the buzz and hype that we're talking about right now. But I am wishful and hoping that there will be some ship content coming, and I'll explain that later. But let's move on. In yellow, we're going to be battling against, quote, endless waves of droids. You can already think to the Conquest battle where we fought a bajillion B1s, but it should be a little bit different because in addition to B1s, we're also going to go up against Staffs, Droidekas, and Command Droids. And despite it being endless waves, each wave apparently will have a randomized command droid who will affect the strategy and abilities of the enemy separatists that we have to defeat. So there's going to be some RNG involved in there. Who knows? Maybe it's manipulatable like an Endor, how Stacks of Jam could manipulate it. Time will tell. Now in purple with my cutesy wootsy little hero gerbil there are 5 hero units, and in this case think of like the Rise of the Empire, right, where like Second Sister, Grand Inquisitor, and a few others are hero characters that have unique abilities. Well, here, Jar Jar Binks, Master Qui-Gon, Padawan Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, and Stap all have bonuses, but none of these bonuses are really going to make or break anything. I mean, we got 25% bonus protection, 25% bonus offense, which is good, 20% mastery, which is good, and then whenever they inflict a debuff, they will recover, they'll heal up 10% of their health and protection and gain 10% stacking offense for all of one turn. So it's not exactly mind-shattering here, but it's pretty cool, and I think that that's going to be kind of useful. So keep in mind there are 5 heroes, don't forget that. Faction bonuses. Now, let's just suffice to say Gungans are going to be a team all on their own. So while they've got some bonus, it's nothing amazing. Basically, it's all around the shield generator. When the shield generator takes a turn, a random Gungan is going to take a turn. They're going to inflict more plasma residue on the enemies, and your shield generator will start with a bonus 5 stacks of the shield, which is kind of cool. It'll make it harder to die, but it's going to likely die. We are waiting on a Gunga Booma Deer Omicron that they said is coming for this raid, just like Bosch-Leia had for the crate raid and Scout Trooper for Indoor, but it hasn't come out yet, so we don't know what that's going to look like. And then the real bonuses, though, are going to be among the Separatists and the Galactic Republic. Now, here's where Luminara and Consular really come into play. Jedi healers, okay, and support gain 50% max health. Jedi healers and tanks gain 50% defense and protection. So right now, Luminara and Consular just became a lot beefier. So what? If the ally leader slot, though, is a healer. Now, in all of this raid, there are 30 characters available, and of those 30, only 2 are healers, and those 2 healers are Luminara and Consular. Notably, Barriss is not available for this raid. If the leader is a healer, now you have 2 choices, Consular and Luminara, then 4 more bullet points happen. Whenever an ally recovers health, they also recover 50% protection. That's huge. I mean, that's big. I can't understate that already. Whenever an ally Jedi is critically hit, they reduce their cooldowns. So as long as you have Luminara or Consular in the leadership position, then anytime one of your Jedi allies is critically hit, their cooldowns drop, they get 100 speed and critical hit immunity till their next turn, or for a turn, right? That's wicked. Whenever an ally has heal over time, they're going to gain 50% defense. Now, it doesn't say stacking, but how do you gain heal over time? Well, turns out there's only 2 ways. Luminara on her leadership will grant it, and then Queen Amidala on her basic will grant it. So again, you're going to want to have Luminara likely as a leader. Then whenever an ally healer uses a special ability, dispel all buffs on the target enemy. So you basically now just have a cleanse, a perma cleanse on Consular and on Luminara, as long as they are in the leadership position. Cool? So star players already. Go gear them up to Relic 9, folks. Separatists are a whole lot wonkier, and I'll let you go read my infograph where I broke this down into bullet points. It's a lot easier to understand, but basically the cool thing is Darth Sidious, regardless of his position, his leadership will be in effect at maximum level. So even if you don't have him at whatever, it's an Omicron Zeta, I don't know which, you're going to get the full benefit out of it, even if he's not the leader. Now, what this means is, of the 30 characters available, 6 are Separatists, 2 are Sith. That essentially is going to be a squad, assuming these are 5 character squads, and we don't know. They honestly do not say anywhere in here if it's going to be 3 or 5, but I'm going to assume it's 5. Of 6 plus 2 Sith, you only get to have 1 opportunity for a dark side squad. And what's going to make the most sense, which I'll show in a second, will be a new gunray lead so that you get all the Separatist benefits, a Sidious in there so you get all of his benefits, and then you're going to definitely want Stab and probably Darth Maul, because there's some synergies. If we go back, there's some synergies between Sith and Separatists all through here, but I didn't underline it, but it says near the bottom, when a Sith ally inflicts a debuff, they also deal 5% max health damage to that enemy. Whenever a Separatist in the ally slot uses a special ability, all Sith allies will assist. So you have Nute Gunray, who uses an ability. Now Sidious and Darth Maul will both assist, and Darth Maul is also a heroic ability, or characters. You can see the 5 heroics are outlined in yellow right there. So Darth Maul and Sidious are going to want to be together, and they're going to want to be under a Separatist lead, and the only Separatist lead is Nute Gunray. Long story short, there's a lot less thinking involved in analyzing this raid so far than Indoor. This one looks pretty straightforward. So these are the 30 characters. We got our 5 Gungans, we got 2 non-Jedi Galactic Republic, 6 Separatists, 2 Sith, and then 15 Jedi Galactic Republic. Again, notably absent from this list is Barriss, who would have been another leader with a healer, who is a healer. Seems deliberate that they want us to gear up Luminara and Consular. Now, the good thing is Consular at least has a ship, right? That's not too bad. All right. Anyway, moving on. It will take the same 180,000 tickets, just like the indoor raid, and then we get a maximum 5 attempts. And this is why I'm thinking that it's going to be 5-person squads, because if you run 5 squads of 5, then only 5 characters get left out here, which means we pretty much have to gear up as many of these as we can, which is how Capital Games makes money. So that's the incentive for them. And especially since some of these characters, Itkoth, Kit Fisto, Guardian, Consular, Luminara, these are really undergeared characters. And honestly, so is Newt Gunray, given that Stap is out. People aren't gearing up Newt for that. You'd want General Grievous as the lead whenever possible, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, Newt has kind of been kicked off to the side. Darth Maul's been kicked off to the side a lot. And Sidious had a really, really good Datacron, but that's going to go poof eventually. So this is another opportunity to encourage us to gear up Sidious. And then, of course, Gungans, and then Amidala, Padawan, Obi, and Master Qui-Gon. Money, 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 as everybody rushes out to gear that, right? So yeah, those are the 30 characters. 5-person teams is most likely. Now, there are 7 difficulty levels that we can go and attempt. Same as indoor, and I think it was the same for the crate raid. What is new here is that we have an all-new level 7 with a bunch of blah, 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 and I'm going to not really talk about that. But what is new about that is the level 7 requires Relic 9 units. Now, that's steep. That's really hard. I'm hoping Relic materials become a little bit easier to get, because I think everybody agrees it's really hard to get there, especially the RO magnifiers, whatever that you get from Raid, Raid Mark III, or Territory Wars. I think that's like the only place to get those silly things, and you need a lot of them. So what's all the blah, blah, blah? Well, in each of these levels, it tells you some about the bad guys. Let's face it, bad guys are going to do bad guy things, and I don't think that's going to impact the team you choose in the slightest, because we only have 30 characters to choose from, and it's pretty clear who the leaders are going to be. Newt for Separatists, Luminara and Consular, seriously, very likely. Luminara for sure with the Jedi, Boss Nass for sure with the Gungans, and that only leaves 2 more. And if you do run Consular, then there's the 4th. Likely, yeah, we'll get there in a second. Anyway, this is going to be a flex tier. Each tier you play, the higher score you get. At tier 7, your score is multiplied by 9, for example. At tier 6, sorry, at tier 6 is multiplied by 9. At tier 7, it's multiplied by 12. So it's nice to have, but hopefully it will not be essential. So what are the teams? Okay, once again, here's the breakdown. Here's what we got. Here's what I'm thinking it's going to look like. So Gungans pretty much have to be together. They just don't synergize outside of their faction. They don't really do anything outside their faction. I don't see any really cross overlap like the indoor team, where Evasion and Imperial Troopers work well together. I just don't see that happening here. So Gungans are going to stick together as Gungans do. We'll get a Gungan Boobadir Omicron pretty soon, and hopefully it'll be worth it. We'll see. If you are going to apply it, do it immediately so that you get the maximum benefit, because in 9 months this raid will disappear and that Omicron will no longer have a home in the future until it cycles around 12 years from now. Number 2, as we said, Newt Gunray. You're going to want Newt for the Separatist lead, which is specifically called out in the faction bonuses. And when Newt uses an ability, the Sith allies will assist. You'll get the same leadership ability, or you get all the leadership ability out of Sidious. You got the heroic Darth Maul, and since you're probably only going to have 1 Separatist team, you're going to want Stap in there for his heroic also. Now, who's the 5th? Is it going to be B12 Droidic or IG? I don't know. Time will tell on that one. Who knows? The 3rd team, Luminara, Queen Amidala, both of the new Jedi, and Kit Fisto. Yeah, no joke, yo. Kit Fisto is the only character in these 30 who provide potency up, and he does it on his special. He provides potency up to the entire allied team for 3 turns. That's really, really, really important because Luminara's leadership and Amidala's basic is going to give you heal over time. And when your Jedi allies have both heal over time and potency up, they're going to have a high chance for counter attacks and something else, basically meeting your Padawan. Obi-Wan is going to be attacking every turn, just like nonstop, just whack, 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 right? You're going to probably want that counterattack. It's probably going to be super useful. So this is deliberate that they have likely planned out Kit Fisto with Luminara and then paired together. Now, the fourth Jedi team, the fourth team, it's going to have to be Jedi, as will the fifth. Who's going to be in there? We only have 2 Galactic Republic not to use, and I'm thinking it's going to be Guardian, but who knows? I don't see anything in Guardian's kit that just screams like epic in this synergy setup that we have, and I don't really see how R2-D2 fits in there yet, other than the stats that he shares. So we'll see how that goes. But put a healer lead, and then you're going to get all the healer benefits, because all the way through every tier, almost starting at tier 3 or level 3 and above, there are specific call outs to Jedis under a healer leader. Yeah, awesome. And then that leaves the fifth team. Who's that going to be? I don't know. I'm just assuming a powerhouse. Keller and Beck with Grandmaster Yoda and Cam, and then whoever else you want to throw in there. Personally, I'm going to be gearing up Plo Koon because I never have, and he's got a ship that's really good. So we'll see where that goes. Now, speaking of ships, you know, we got this icon of Grandmaster Yoda that was thrown in the game and then disappeared. So if I want to be wishful and just hope that we get a new ship or ships, maybe the Galactic Legend ship of 2024 is not a Galactic capital ship, but maybe it's going to be some really, really cool fighters. You know, almost every Jedi in Star Wars was a pilot. Like, seriously, almost every one of them was a trained, accomplished, capable pilot. And we have a bunch of these. We've got Mace as a capital ship. We got Anakin in there. We got Ahsoka in there. We have Consular, but we don't have a bunch of others. We could very, very, very easy, oops, yep, there it is, get a Luminara, get a Grandmaster Yoda, get a Kit Fisto, get a new Padawan, and, you know, throw out 2 or 3 Galactic Republic Jedi or Counselor ships with synergies to a Galactic Jedi Council leader, and we have a whole Jedi Council fleet. I kind of speculated that this might happen over a year ago when I said it would be the Resolute with with Jedi Counselors. But what if the meta fleet of 2024 will be Mace Windu? Anyway, just wondering. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. I will post more and more of these kind of videos as time goes, when we learn more and when we get to start playing. I will have a Relic 9 Gungan squad in the next couple months. I committed to it. Don't ask me why. And so I'll be trying to push the envelope on this. So hey, you know the drill. If you like this video, please push that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate it. And I will catch you later on the holotables. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. See you around.